I'm Rudyard Griffith, and I believe that Canada lacks a single identity.
Hi there, I'm George Sioui, and I do not believe Canada lacks a single identity.
I do acknowledge that Canada does have multiple different races and cultures, but we are not integrating, collaborating, or working together, which makes us lack a single identity. We are often seen as multiple separate provinces or regions. These exclusive regions are often created by the many different beliefs and values. For example, Quebec gives Canada a strong French-Canadian identity, and even though Quebec is very exclusive, these separate provinces contribute to Canada's overall identity. On paper, Canada may seem to be identified as one nation, but in reality we are fragmented and segregated. Martel describes Canada as the greatest hotel on earth, as it welcomes everyone. The hotel metaphor explains how people are coming in and out of Canada as they please, which shows a lack of commitment to their nation. I agree that Canada in some aspects demonstrates the hotel concept that Martel explains, though I do not believe this to be a good thing. Canada has a constant flow of immigrants as well as emigrants, which creates a lack of commitment and contribution to our nation. This oppresses our overall strength as a nation.
Well, Griffith, I believe the open hotel concept is a very good thing. This implies we have many different social, cultural, and racial values and beliefs among our nation. This shows we are following Amerindians' background and being helpful and open to others, such as the Europeans, despite the flaws they brought with them, such as disease and war.
I understand your statement, but if we continue to want to be so diverse, we're going to eventually separate more than we already are. Surveys even reveal that Canadians work together better and interact more with people of their own race. Since we are pushing so more to become a diverse nation, it is leading to more problems and less communication between provinces and regions.
I certainly do not think that having an individual values has a negative impact on Canada's diversity, because all our individual values make our nation stronger. Again, by looking at Quebec, even though they may be seen as a separate province, Canada as a nation receives a bilingual title. By giving provinces and other regions the freedom and opportunity to express certain traits and values, not only enhances their own individual identity, but strengthens their entire nation. If we follow our Amerindian ancestors' sacred circle of humanity and peaceful atmosphere, this conflict of separating will be much less of a dilemma.
So, you say we have this great diversity, and if we maintain peace, the problem will resolve. However, the problem is created due to many different opinions regarding our historical beginning between the French and Aboriginals. If we start with conflict, we will end with conflict.
It's not all about conflicting views, who started our nation's beginning. However, it's largely about not giving enough credit to our Amerindians and other important groups. These groups are left out, making people believe it was only the French who started our historical beginning, rather than contributions from many.
Although Canada's lack of a one single identity is a problem, it is not the only issue. If we observe our voting percentage, our strong nation is not presented well. Only 16% of Canadians have held membership in a political party. Our government contributes to create policies and regulate our nation, but when a lack of Canadians vote, our diverse voice is almost invisible. On average, 50% of Canada's population does not vote or acknowledge their nation. Half of Canada's population seeks to contribute to their own province or region, not their nation. This reveals the society's dissatisfaction to belong to something more than their individual self-fulfillment.
I believe the lack of trusting relationship between Canada's population and the government affects the political involvement. Our ancestors taught us to be modest, trustworthy, and more importantly, to always protect our weak, which the government does not often do. Our government today displays a hierarchy society where we only care about self-fulfillment. This shows that the lack of single identity is only a partial reason to why the voting patterns have been decreasing. However, the government's actions are also a large contribution.
Canada's contribution as a nation has been decreasing, in contrast to regional contribution, which has been increasing. This causes our single national identity to shrink. Civic communities allow engagement between individuals in their community. It is very beneficial to oneself as well as your specific region. This again creates more separation, especially when more contribution is towards the region rather than the nation as one.
Well, I take in consideration people should be aware and care for the community. However, they might have higher priorities to care about, such as their family or spouse. The sacred circle of life that the Amerindians express has one element, which claims the spirit and body of the mother is the foundation for the family. And as a family, we learn values which maintains our balance in our life. I myself believe maintaining a balanced life and family is much more important than participating in the community.
To conclude, I believe Canada is not integrating well and is lacking a single identity, as we are contributing a lot to our specific regions and provinces rather than our nation as a whole. For example, our voting patterns and involvement with civic communities is decreasing. Our nation is becoming a hotel, which I find to be negative, as immigrants and emigrants are coming in and out and not contributing to our nation. This shows a lack of commitment.
To conclude, I believe the hotel metaphor is a positive impact, as it follows our Amerindians' characteristics of being open and humble to everyone. The conflict does not arise just because we are arguing with who started our historical beginning, however, the lack of recognition the Amerindians are receiving. I understand the lack of political engagement, but I believe that if people are busy with balancing a family unit, that it is a valid excuse.
Thanks for watching!